Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Sister Sister, a podcast for spiritual baddies, and we are your hosts, Elle and Amaya. And Elle, please tell us what today's episode's about.
So, we're going to be talking about starseeds and why they are problematic. Our disclaimer is a lot of this information for this episode comes from a study called A Wolf in New Age Clothing, Starseeds Beliefs, Spirituality, and a Soft Pathway to Radicalization by Beth Davis. We will be directly quoting this study as it has a lot of great information, along with using some other online resources, all of which will be linked like they are on all of our episodes.
A starseed, sometimes called star people, indigo children, or light workers, are a collection of New Age spiritualists who believe that their souls originated on another planet, sometimes characterized as a religious movement.
Starseeds really got popularized on social media, especially TikTok, within the last few years. So, one example is I'm a starseed, says unicorn, which that video had went viral in, I think it was last year in August. The self-proclaimed pop star cult leader who uses pronouns Zer characterizes starseeds as alien consciousness born into human bodies. So, Unicorn goes on to say that starseeds are smart, psychic, lonely types who often have mental illnesses. This definition is in line with those who join Facebook groups like Newly Awakened Starseeds, Indigo, Crystal and Rainbow Children, or Galactic Federation of Starseeds and Lightworkers. Um, and then also Gaia articles that says heady things like starseeds are traveling souls from other planets who incarcerated on Earth to inspire and heal human beings and to participate in the planet's evolution. And this portion talking about this comes from an article that was done by Medium. So if you want to check that out, it'll be linked.
If you haven't already seen my face, please see it now. I'm questioning this already, but I didn't do the research on this one, so I'm
Oh,
learning as much as you.
I am so far down this rabbit hole. This is something that irks me to no end. And I'm in a couple Discord servers with other TikTok people, and mainly it is like witches. And we all have kind of decided the minute someone says the word starseed, they get removed for two of the servers because we don't do that.
Anyway, how do they claim being a star seed works? Rather than becoming a star seed at some point during a star seed's life, they awaken to the fact that they've always been a star seed. This usually involves awakening to the fact that they have an alien soul currently incarnated in a human body. Starseeds may identify as a particular alien subspecies, such as Pleiadian, Arcturian, Lyran, Lemurian, or Atlantean, among many others, with accompanying physical and psychological characteristics and powers. Many also claim to have experienced many different lives over hundreds or thousands of years. Some people believe that multiple alien souls use their human body as a vessel to interact with life on Earth. Most starseeds believe that they have been incarnated on Earth in human form for the shared purpose of ushering in the ascension of the Earth from the three-dimensional reality we currently live and experience to a five-dimensional utopian state of awakening. As you can tell, my face, I'm mind blown, also scared. Starseeds tend to frame their beliefs in pseudo-scientific language, co-opting the terminology of quantum physics, string theory, and cosmology, and reinterpreting these principles to shape their syncretic metaphysics. A lot of words that I don't know. But anyway,
Yeah, so at face value, Starseed's ideology may seem kind of like harmless, like, oh, these people just think that, they're from another planet. Like, how much harm can that really cause? But we're going to talk about why it is problematic. So, a lot of the ideology and conspiracy theories overlap whenever it comes to star seeds and other ideologies and things around the world. So the belief system holds the two core convictions of conspiritual hybrid belief systems, which is one, a secret group covertly controls or is trying to control the political and social order, or two, humanity is undergoing a paradigm shift in consciousness. So, those are the two main belief systems that usually are found among star seeds.
Next is Theosophy, an NRM that first appeared in the 1870s, bases its beliefs primarily on the work of Helena Blavatsky, a Russian-born mystic and medium who claimed to derive knowledge that would come to make up the theosophical belief system in part from records she viewed within the astral light, a higher plane accessible only to an elite few. Neo-Theosophists, the second generation of thinkers following Blavatsky, began to call these the Akashic Records, a fictional compendium of all the knowledge of every life form in the universe. One of the Theosophy's most frequently cited elements is Blavatsky's conceptions of superior root races, including the Lemurians, Atlanteans, and the Hyperboreans, which Blavatsky claims have emerged throughout Earth's history and then either faded away or suffered a dramatic collapse at the end of an age. This sounds like a freaking movie.
Yep, yep, yep. This is theosophy.
Blavatsky complained the fifth root race in this cycle, the Aryans, dominate the modern age, although theosophical race theories were conceived as spiritual or cosmic. They had concrete effects on racial relations between Western and non Western actors. Though Blavatsky disclaimed the connection between the theosophical Aryan race and white supremacist beliefs in racial superiority, theosophical beliefs were and continue to be adopted by far right communities and played a direct role in the development of the Nazi ideology through their inspiration of Ariosophy and the Volskich movement.
Despite her claims, Blavatsky also made clear in theosophical texts that some non-Aryan races should be viewed as semi-animal creatures, and others, including the Jews and Arabs, were degenerate in spirituality. Words from the
Oh,
horse's mouth. Starseeds adopt many elements of the root race theory established within theosophy and often attribute their esoteric knowledge of their alien race and the prophesized ascension to the fifth dimension to the Akashic records. Starseeds are not Nazis, but their beliefs and races of ancient aliens culminating in modern superior beings recycle and adapt much of the racial hierarchy that far-right movements find so attractive in theosophy. So, I just want to talk about that a little bit before we get into the Christian
yeah.
connections.
That's a
Um,
lot to break down that we just talked about.
so my thing is you go to certain festivals because I've ended a lot of different kinds of festivals, not necessarily run fairs, but like spiritualist festivals. And you see things about like getting your Akashic records read and things like that. And it's like, if you're a new person in the spiritual space, you don't have any idea where that comes from, right? Like, I feel like people need more educated, and that's why I'm glad we're doing this episode because it's like, it's a lot to unpack. It's a lot.
So when I started reading about the racist part, I was like, oh, wait a minute. This sounds all too familiar. All too familiar to what we're even reliving right now. So
Yeah. And the fact that, like, and you can't directly say that, like, starseeds are Nazis, right? Because it's not the direct connection. But the Nazi ideology does connect to theosophy, and a lot of their ideology came from the idea of the Aryan race and being superior.
yes, I remember reading about the Aryan race in school. So I was like, this
So
sounds familiar.
we'll get into Christian millenarianism connections. So Starseeds beliefs also mirror apocalyptic Christian millenarianism. So like millenarianists, Starseeds believe in an impending spiritual transformation and ascension that will remake the world. The imminent nature of the transformative paradigm shift can lead starseeds to endorse extreme anti government sentiments, including sovereign citizen beliefs, and reflect broader trends among millenarianists. So that just kind of comes from like, starseeds are basically formed on two basic concepts. They come from an alien race, or the government is out to get them. And if you thought that that
Interesting.
was bad enough, they're also connected to the red pill theory people.
So, red pill connections. Starseed beliefs frequently reflect themes prominent in far right and conspiratorial communities such as the red pill, a reptilian outgroup, and the QAnon conspiracy theories. Adapted from incel and other far right communities, for starseeds, the red pill denotes immersion in ascension energies and knowing, seeing, sensing reality as it truly is, and ultimately becoming aligned with the fifth dimensional reality. By be by adopting the red pill terminology to reflect the unique or insider understanding of the world, starseeds have shared a cultural touchpoint with many far-right groups, creating opportunities for further ideological slippage and strategic alignment. Another narrative commonality between starseeds, QAnon, and UFO theorists is that of disclosure. Each group believes that the government hides information that will prove the truth behind their belief system, and that eventually this information will be disclosed to the public. Disclosure narratives often create frustration for believers who feel that something has gone awry with the prophesized revelation and that the dark forces or negative entities are at fault when disclosure continues to be delayed. This sounds like something out of Stranger Things, let me tell you.
Yeah. So now I want to talk about some far right star seeds that were mentioned in this in-depth research study that was done, specifically that participated in January 6th.
You can see based on our faces why we're just so shocked, to say the least.
And this is like alarming. Like, this kind of ideology is just alarming. It's not very demure.
It's not very mindful either.
So we're going to get into some far right star seeds. So star seeds overlaps with the far right were also visible on January 6th. Before Jacob Chansley was known as the QAnon shaman, he started a YouTube channel called Starseed Academy. Chansley highlights the intersection of starseed and QAnon beliefs, claiming that former President Trump is fighting against a reptilian deep state and will be instrumental in ushering in the 5D ascension. For Chansley, these two belief systems can bind to form a worldwide view that is apocalyptic as well as conspiratory. Another January 6th defendant, Yvonne, I want to say it's Saint Sir, but I don't want to mess it up, who was one of the first rioters to break through the police fence line at the US Capitol, kind of exposes starseed beliefs. They have QAnon beliefs as well as her apocalyptic Christianity, where were well documented and have been well covered by the media following her participation in the insurrection. However, her starseed beliefs have not been covered, though she reportedly professed them during a mental health evaluation in anticipation of her prosecution. Because her social media profiles have been largely removed, it is unknown whether she started exposing starseed beliefs before or after her participation on January 6th. So today, her LinkedIn profile lists her profession as goddess, starting in 2020 through the present. Her LinkedIn biography states 53 years in 3D land, sleeping through life and not realizing this is just an illusion. 2 years of soul searching and remembering who I am. I am a light worker and gifted being. I am here to help humanity remember and heal while creating heaven on earth. All the darkness is finally being exposed by the light, and we will take our world back. And you thought that was it? That's not it. Another starseed adherent who frequently targets vulnerable individuals is the self-proclaimed Queen of Canada, Romana Did-
Diddle.
Romana Didelot. Didelot leads an anti-government cult that has semi-regular confrontations with Canadian officials and claims she is an accurate, oh my God, Arcturian starseed whose spiritual contract requires preserving humankind. Didelot exemplifies the intersection of starseeds, sovereign citizen, and QAnon ideology, as starseed beliefs can lead to distrust and animosity towards supposed reptilian-controlled governments. So it's not just the US either, it's the Canada. That was a lot of information.
That was a lot of information and a whole lot of theories. I might be going down a rabbit hole later of my own, so yeah.
So take everything people post on social media with a grain of salt. Educate yourselves is my main thing with this is educate yourself. Go through and read that whole research study that was done because it is I don't think it's a biased research study. It just talks about everything that has been found about this. Now, there are some articles that are posted about like the TikTok explosion of starseeds and things like that, whereas I find those a little bit more biased. If you want to read like a starseed point of view, you can go to some of these like people that have online platforms and look at it and see what they're posting. If you're curious to see what kind of stuff is on there, just to feed your own curiosity, go ahead, do it. Consider it part of your research. Um, but the main consensus is not that there is anything wrong with whatever way you lean politically, but there's a point where you cross a line, right? Away from reality, whether you're on the left or the right. And that is why we talk about the far, far right in this and how those ideologies of like reptilian people and things like that, the QAnon, all of it is often linked to people who have this starseed ideology because a lot of the belief systems overlap, which I that's enough said about that. Like it just overlaps a lot, and that's why you're seeing this far, far right individuals kind of claiming to the starseed thing, even though spirituality, and this is supposed to be considered like a spiritual thing by most people, is often viewed as like a left thing. Being a witch is like a left thing. You know, people make t-shirts that say, I'm that feminist liberal witch they warned you about, right? Like so it's kind of a weird crossover, like between political climate and spirituality and things like that, because of the ideology that backs up starseeds being more right-leaning ideologies. That's my final
This
thoughts.
isn't the first time where you see church and state crossing over. If you remember history, you remember how things were not as secular as they are now. So, all that being said, let's jump right into our astrology almanac for this.
Today, the moon in Scorpio opposes Uranus and Taurus. Your inner rebel may want to come out to play. Make sure you are getting to the root cause of any outbursts. Today, the moon enters Sagittarius and will trine with Mars in Leo. You will be full of energy, so be sure to put it to good use and get ahead on projects you're working on. On the 1st, we have a new moon in Sagittarius. This is a time to focus on expansion and exploration in your life. Since this is happening when Mercury is retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius, this exploration may come by visiting a place you've already been to and seeing it in a new light, or by expanding on old ideas you had to make them come to fruition. Then on the 4th, we have a lot happening in the sky. Mercury in Sagittarius will oppose Jupiter in Gemini, which makes you get lost in your thoughts. Be sure to give yourself a break from thinking and actually work on some of those ideas. The Sun in Sagittarius will square with Saturn in Pisces, which can lead to even the smallest of things getting under your skin. Try not to focus on what isn't working and try new methods to achieve your goals. And then rounding out the 4th, Venus in Capricorn will sextile with Neptune in Pisces. Pisces, which urges you to work with others as collaboration may be what you need to make ideas come to life. Finally, on the 5th, the Sun and Mercury, both in Sagittarius, will conjunct. If you have an idea or a plan you are really excited about, now is the time to start it. You'll likely see results from this action over the next 2 months. So much happening in astrology.
You're not kidding, but this is beautiful energy for the new year.
Yes.
So, yay, 2025. We're excited for you. Hopefully, you're better than this year. Now, for my favorite part of the show.
Okay, so once again, we have two cards.
Again,
Yeah.
Spirit spoiling us.
We have the Lovers and the Hierophant.
Ooh.
So, we all know what the Lovers card is about. Do I even need to explain? I'll give you the brief. Lovers, soulmate connection, divine counterpart, feeling good in your relationship status, right? But then we
Period.
have the Hierophant. And this is where it gets a little weird. Good weird, but a little weird. So the Hierophant can represent a couple things. It can represent some sort of like mentor in your life. It can represent coming into a new moral philosophy. It can represent having your morals questioned by people. So what I am getting from this overall is whoever this like partner or connection for you is either going to kind of help you through a moral dilemma, or you are going to like come into this new realization within your morals and what you're moving forward towards, and they're going to kind of help you through that. On the other end of things, there could be a new romantic interest that comes from a space where you have been mentored. So whether that's like you meet someone in a class, you might meet someone that's a coworker. I don't recommend dating your coworkers, but that's a TED Talk for another time. But you may meet someone in a space where you have a mentor.
Don't date your coworkers. It's a bad time. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Sister Sisters, a podcast for spiritual bodies. While you may be super confused about what we talked about today, as confused as I am, just do your own research, as we said. Maybe take a few looks on Google, maybe visit your local library. They always have good stuff. Support your local libraries. They do so much for the community. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and TikTok, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell button for our next video and last one of this season before we take a hiatus. Not a long one though, we promise. Just like a month. We need a little break and get refreshed. But thank you all. Love you all. Peace out.
Bye, guys.